round of 16, he beat Jose Manuel Aguirre Cruz, the IBA pro. And then in the quarter-final, it was a really bizarre interlude because he beat Ahmad Shtiwi of Israel unanimously. They came together in a clinch. He tapped him somewhere just around the temple, just in the midst of a clinch. And from that point on, it was as though somebody had pulled a plug on Shtiwi because he staggered backwards, he got back up after the clinch, and he was all over the place. And from there on, he was in survival mode. And so that is how Zeinullinov was able to box his way pretty comfortably into the final four. Well, plenty of support for the man in red in the house as we begin this second semi-final in the men's 63.5 kilogram welterweight division. The southpaw wearing red was something of a teen sensation in IBA style boxing, taking youth Olympic gold in Buenos Aires. I was commentating on that contest. European youth gold, world youth silver, all at the same weight that he is now, light welterweight. In his first world champs in 2019, he made it through to the quarterfinals, and he took Andy Cruz to eliminate him. So that's the type of talent that this man possesses, and he's just been inconvenienced by a rabbit punch to the rear of his head, has Popov, by Ertugan Zeinullinov, the #2 seed from Kazakhstan. Both men going for backhands simultaneously, and it's a brisk start by Zeinullinov. But what Popov brings to the ring, in addition to his sharp-shooting offensive southpaw skills, is he scores effectively by dipping down and driving in straight shots to the body, is what he just demonstrated there. He's very difficult to hit cleanly. It's almost as though you turn a knife sideways. He's getting pieced up through the middle of his gloves there, though. Wonderful snaking shots in between the defenses from Zeinullinov. But typically, Popov has the ability to turn his stance like a blade on a knife, and presenting very little to hit out of that southpaw stance. But Zeinullinov measuring the distance well and is aggressive over that front foot. Popov just spinning around the clock face to try and present a different angle. Good right hand to the body from Zeinullinov, and this has been a terrific start from the man in blue. Going in search of his get back is Popov, as he dropped down to the body to shovel in a couple of punches. But Zeinullinov keeping the movement going, whether on the front foot or being forced backwards. And his hands have been really accurate. He's reduced the power on his punches. Good left hand driven into the sternum from Popov, then tried to turn it into an overhand left. On the second one attempted, I think it was the crook of the elbow that caught the man from Kazakhstan. But Zeinullinov continuing to just measure his man with real effectiveness. Both men dropping down with backhands, with left hands to the body. Overhand southpaw left brings a spirited round of applause and encouragement from the Popov fans in the house here. And Popov just stealing a furtive glance to his corner. That's right next to our commentary position. That's a cracking double southpaw left from Popov. So Popov just grazing his man's back across the ropes, holding him there and walking him sideways. Both men going in search of backhands. First round in the book, and I think that was a very good opening round for Zeinullinov.
It was a really entertaining round, that's for absolutely certain. I would agree with you. I think he just locked on really quickly, didn't he? He seemed to find his range early on and just got good rhythm with that 1-2, just popped it off, popped it off, popped it off, and he just kept finding it and finding it. Popov maybe caught a little bit cold, although that's taking a bit away from Zeinullinov, and he kind of ground himself into it a bit. I thought in that final minute towards the end there, he landed some good left hands himself, and that's important, I think, to have that finish to the round for him, just to feel like as he sits on his stool that he was getting himself into it. You look at the scores there, and that's I would say was probably worthy of a 5-0, but let's not split too many hairs. 4-1 in favour of Zeinullinov is a good result for him. But I think Popov has got to try and take the end of that round into the start of this next one, because now this next round is critical for him.
So we move into the second round. Ilya Popov conceding the first on a 4-1 split. The manner in which he can present angles and find room for his punches in a blink from mid and long range is a real feature of his work. But in Zeinullinov is finding a boxer who is moving fluidly. That's a cracking southpaw left, just as we described it from Popov, twice in quick succession, snaking out that left hand and getting it back to the on-guard position with terrific velocity, going out and back at the same pace. Same shot attempted once again, this time hip to it is Zeinullinov, and he got his right hand up to defend it. Now he knows he's been touched up and he goes in search of the backhand against the southpaw, but Popov really producing profitable punches from that backhand. And the cries of Russia, Russia being responded to with a rallying call of Kazakhstan, Kazakhstan. It's a classic IBA boxing rivalry, and two of the best in the business. As a roundhouse left gets through from Popov, partially blocked by the glove. The second one was more potent and precise, and now Popov is really sitting down on his punches and letting his hands go with bad intentions. Approaching the halfway stage of the second round, and it's been a very good response from Popov. And again, what a southpaw left hook. A right hand came over from Zeinullinov, and as quick as a flash, her counter punch was there, landing almost at the same time as Zeinullinov's shot, which he released first. There's an example of the blistering speed possessed by Popov, and he's had a much better second round, and he seems to be investing in explosive singles here now, and it's proven to be an effective tactic for him. So the float that Zeinullinov established in the first 2 minutes of the opening round just being negated by the blistering speed of counters such as that. That threatened to stray into rabbit punch territory from Popov. Left hand not too far away once again. Zeinullinov being reduced to missing. Oh, that's a sumptuous left hook to the body from Popov, who has picked up the pace of his punches notably here in the second round. It's almost as though it took a rocket from his corner to liven the man up. And as Andy Clark was suggesting in between rounds, was he caught cold in that opening round, as he wasn't too far away with a left hand? And look at the manner in which he's growing in confidence, operating with his hands down by his belt line now, trying to present a different launch pad for the punches. Zeinullinov not too far away with a right hand. Sneaky left hook grazed the nose of Popov. Right hand to the body on the bell, and I think that's a magnificent response from the man in red.
It really was, and this should now be teed up perfectly for the final round, because it was 4-1 in favour of Zeinullinov in that opening round. Popov should get the majority. It should be 5-0 across the board for him, really, I would think, but you can never be absolutely sure. We'll find out in a second, but he did respond so well, because he started to land a few towards the end of the first round, and it just felt like that might give him something just to hold on to going out for the second round. And I don't think they'd have spared him in the corner, as you mentioned. I think they would have said to him, listen, you're 1 round into a 3-round fight, what is this? Now, do you want this or do you not want it? And in the second round he was just a lot sharper, particularly with that left hand. So let's have a look at the scores, and he's got it, but he's got it 3-2, which means that he is down by 2 points on 2 cards, up by 2 points on 1 card, and the other 2 are level.
So as we move into the third and final round, this contest is in the balance, and what a right hand to swivel the head of Zeinullinov from Popov, who edged the second round on a 3-2 split. But it's complete night and day from what he produced in the opening round, where it was Zeinullinov who found his flow and scored consistently, principally behind a 1-2 against the southpaw. Popov was a different man in the second round, building on the strong conclusion to the opening round that he produced. And it was pot shot singles and changing of angles that served him well. So who will be able to seize the initiative here in the third and final round of a contest that is in the balance? 2 scorecards tied at 19 points apiece, one of them favouring Popov 2018, the other 2 favouring the man in blue 2018. Popov had success when he changed his position. So just some repairs required to the bootstraps of Ilya Popov. I think he's receiving a bit of, well, I was going to say secret clandestine coaching, but it wasn't that secret or clandestine. His coach was just yelling instructions in his direction. And on the resumption, both men having successes with their backhands. We're approaching the halfway stage of a third and final round that will be decisive in determining the outcome of this one. There's an effective cluster of punches from Zeinullinov. Nice left jab from Zeinullinov. Popov, is he guilty of waiting? He's on the edge of range, looking to close the distance, looking for that right hook out of the southpaw stance, but couldn't quite find a home for it. And Zeinullinov with a flow takes a burst of body shots down to his body. And one of them just brought about a bit of a response. Overhand left is a scoring shot from Popov. Responding with counters of his own is Zeinullinov. And it's a cracking atmosphere here at the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Centre. And there is a wonderful southpaw right hook on the inside. Seemingly no room with which to uncoil the punch. But that is the dexterity. That's a big backhand on the resumption from Zeinullinov. So both men enjoying right-hand successes of the single shot variety in the previous 20 seconds. A right hook from Seek with seemingly no room to uncoil it from Popov, followed by an overhand right from Zeinullinov, and then it was Popov who had success down to the body. 37 seconds remaining, and a final burst of quality here to impress the judges could well prove to be decisive, as Popov looks to his corner for further instruction once again. Neither man wants to clinch on the inside. Both men going in search of the body, but they're rather crowding one another out. So who can free their hands and make room for their punches on the inside? Popov trying to sneak in a left hand. Referee has issued the command of break. There's the 10-second clapper, and the boxers are going to have to work right up until the final bell. There's a left hand to the body. Popov creeping across the canvas. Both men scoring backhands. What a round of boxing in a bid to determine the victor of this one. Incredibly hard fought, incredibly competitive. Both men continuing to demonstrate the ability to think and function in the face of an opponent who was really live and really dangerous. My goodness, that was a chess match played at high speed. Now we're going to bout review, which suggests after the scorecards, Andy, that we're going to have a 3-2 score either way. I happen to think that Popov edged the third, but with the distribution of the scores, who knows which way this is going to go.
I mean, it's hard to know, isn't it? It's hard to know. You'd imagine there may well have been split scoring in that third and final round. What we know is that nobody's won that round 10-8. So the two cards that Zeinullinov was ahead in, he'll have kept them. The card that Popov was ahead in, he'll have kept them. There were two drawn rounds there after 2 rounds. And what I can also tell you is that after 2 rounds, the observer and the evaluator, they both had it drawn as well.
Wow.
So literally anything could happen here, couldn't it?
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this contest via split decision and heading into the finals, in the red corner,
Ilya Popov,
Russia,
the narrowest of
Ilya
split decision victors over the tournament #2 seed, Ertugan Zeinullinov. An incredibly hard-fought affair of the highest skill. The explosive speed of the southpaw Ilya Popov, the free-flowing rhythmical boxing of the #2 seed Ertugan Zeinullinov. He bitterly disappointed. There's a huge contrast in the emotions of the two boxers. Zeinullinov's tournament comes to an end here. It is Popov who progresses through to the gold medal bout. Terrific final round, and just edging it is the man from Russia.
I'll just take you through what happened there scores-wise, because with the 5 scoring judges at ringside, it was all down to those 2 drawn cards. Now they got 1 each, and that meant that with the 5 judges ringside, Zeinullinov had it 3-2, which obviously sends it to the bout review. Both of the scores that were added, the observer and the evaluator, they both had it for Popov. So that 3-2 flipped to 4-3. You don't see, I mean, it happens. You don't see it that often though, do you?
No, we don't see it often, and that's how close it was. Yeah, that's the point I was about to make. Incredibly close between the two. Had it gone the other way, I don't think there could have been too many complaints. I happen to think that Popov edged the final round, but as you say, with the distribution of the scores, that could have been not immaterial, but it might not have